Join us as we attempt to accurately predict which movies will, and discuss which movies should, take home Golden Globes in 2018. The ongoing movie awards races is open right now as it is varied in its contestants. Among those films that have a real shot at taking home the biggest prizes of the season, culminating with Oscar night in March, are Guillermo del Toro's monster fairy tale romance The Shape of Water, Greta Gerwig's semi-autobiographical coming-of-age film Lady Bird, and Jordan Peele's liberal racism horror/thriller Get Out. At the same time, the latest historical dramas by decorated veterans Steven Spielberg and Ridley Scott shouldn't be counted out either, especially when it comes to the Golden Globes. Given the lack of a clear frontrunner in either the drama or musical/comedy categories heading into the 75th annual Golden Globes, it's all the more difficult to guess which movies, actors, and creatives will be recognized by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association in 2018. The HFPA also has a habit of nominating films anchored by big-name stars that haven't otherwise gained much awards season traction. See this year's The Greatest Showman for example. This is yet another factor that makes it difficult to accurately predict which movies will go home with golden trophies on Golden Globes night, but there's no harm in trying, right? As has become our tradition here at Screen Rant, we are going to take a shot at predicting which films will take home awards during the 2018 Golden Globe ceremony. At the same time, we will break down which movies, actors, and creatives should be recognized for their efforts by the HFPA, and touch on some of the ceremony's potential upsets. Best Motion Picture, Drama nominees: Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, The Post, The Shape of Water, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Predicted winner, Call Me By Your Name. Call Me By Your Name has both the European artistic sensibility and the credentials. Directed by Italian filmmaker Luca Guadagnino, written by the legend James Ivory, to appeal to the HFPA at large. It's also a terrific coming-of-age story and queer romance that's deserving of all the praise and adoration it's accumulated. A Golden Globe victory would be well earned. Should win. The Shape of Water. The Shape of Water has more in common with Call Me By Your Name than might seem obvious at a passing glance. Both are low-key-friendly celebrations of love and art at their core. Surface differences aside, Shape of Water might actually have better luck at the Oscars, given how much of a love letter it is to old Hollywood, and the Academy frequently favors those. Potential upset. The Post. The Post is as politically relevant, if not more so, than most any other movie this awards season, and major organizations like the National Board of Review have already recognized Steven Spielberg's ode to the importance of journalism as being the best film of 2017. The HFPA may yet follow suit and favor Spielberg's tale of crusading news reporters over the competition. Should have been a contender. Logan. Deadpool managed to land 2 Golden Globe nominations a year ago, but 2017's own critically acclaimed X-Men film Logan wasn't so lucky. James Mangold's soulful examination of the end of a violent man's life, a man who, yes, has adamantium claws, was deserving of a nod. If nothing else, the HFPA could have even classified Logan as a comedy, if they felt the need. Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy nominees: The Disaster Artist, Get Out, The Greatest Showman, I, Tonya, Lady Bird. Predicted winner, Lady Bird. Greta Gerwig truly found her voice as an artist on Lady Bird, her solo directorial debut, delivering a coming-of-age flick to remember in the process. Lady Bird is a partly autobiographical, introspective, and very funny examination of adolescence, making it the 400 blows for a new generation. It's not at all difficult to envision the film winning in this category, for related reasons. Should win. Get Out. As terrific as Lady Bird is, Get Out has arguably had the bigger impact on the pop culture landscape. Jordan Peele's directorial debut has tapped into the zeitgeist in ways that few other genre movies, horror films especially, have managed to do of late, and a victory here would reflect that. Call it what you like, a comedy, a social thriller, Get Out is a landmark achievement. Potential upset. The Disaster Artist. James Franco's The Disaster Artist has been a dark horse contender since it entered the awards season race, so a victory here would come as a surprise. Franco's efforts to lend some humanity to the mysterious figure responsible for the bizarre cult film The Room is an Ed Wood-style ode to misunderstood artists that might yet win the HFPA over. What a story that would be. Mark. Should have been a contender. The big sick romantic comedies are in short supply in Hollywood nowadays. That makes it all the more disappointing that The Big Sick, one of the best rom-coms in a long while, didn't make the cut in this category. Michael Showalter's semi-fictionalized, yet earnest and touching take on Kumail Nanjiani and Emily V. Gordon's love story might have more luck at the Academy Awards, fortunately. Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture. Drama nominees: Jessica Chastain, Molly's Game, Sally Hawkins, The Shape of Water, Frances McDormand, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Meryl Streep, The Post, Michelle Williams, All the Money in the World predicted winner, Frances McDormand. Frances McDormand is deserving of all the praise she's earned for her powerhouse performance as a mother who's been through hell and is done giving a hoot about what anyone else has to say in 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. The Oscar winner has, surprisingly, never won a Golden Globe for acting before, but it's easy to envision that changing this year, and fittingly so, should win. Sally Hawkins. Subtly is the name of the game when it comes to Sally Hawkins' great performance in The Shape of Water. Hawkins expresses much through her body language and reactions as the film's mute protagonist, in turn providing the character with a rich personality without saying a word. In the movie's real-world sequences, anyway, that alone is deserving of some awards recognition. Potential upset. Jessica Chastain. Even in a year where Frances McDormand and Meryl Streep delivered what many consider their best performances in a while, Jessica Chastain has a real shot at taking home the gold for Molly's Game. Chastain excels at playing the film's complicated namesake, and being the standout in an Aaron Sorkin scripted drama is nothing to sneeze at. Chastain may yet snag her second Golden Globe here, for related reasons. Should have been a contender, Sophia Lillis. IT. The young cast members of IT were as essential to the Stephen King adaptation's success as anything else, and arguably none more so than Sophia Lillis as the abused, yet creative Beverly. It's a breakout performance for the young star and hopefully the start of a bright career. Maybe Jessica Chastain will get a nod for playing adult Bev in IT. Chapter 2. To make up for the snub? Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture. Drama nominees: Timothée Chalamet, Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis, Phantom Thread, Tom Hanks, The Post, Gary Oldman, Darkest Hour, Denzel Washington, Roman J. Israel, Esquire. Predicted winner, Gary Oldman. No leading performance by an actor has generated quite as much buzz this award season as Gary Oldman's take on Winston Churchill in Darkest Hour. The creative team behind Joe Wright's World War II drama was responsible for transforming Oldman into the historical icon physically, but it's Oldman's acting chops that really bring this screen rendition of the Prime Minister to life so vividly. Should win, Gary Oldman. You can go wrong with any of the nominees in this category. Timothée Chalamet made a splash in Call Me By Your Name, while Tom Hanks, Denzel Washington, and Daniel Day-Lewis all demonstrated that they are still at the top of their acting games. Still, it's Oldman's turn in Darkest Hour that should easily land him the Golden Globe and eventually, and deservedly, the Oscar. Potential upset. Daniel Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis' turn as the egotistical dressmaker Reynolds Woodcock in Phantom Thread isn't generating the sort of buzz that his Oscar-winning performances in films like There Will Be Blood and Lincoln did. Nevertheless, it will, supposedly, mark his final performance on the big screen, so the HFPA could decide to commemorate the occasion by giving him the Globe instead of Oldman. Should have been a contender, Hugh Jackman. Logan. It certainly didn't go unnoticed when the HFPA nominated Hugh Jackman for playing P.T. Barnum in The Greatest Showman. More on that later. Over his gut-wrenching final turn as Wolverine in Logan, there's no reason the actor couldn't have been nominated for both of his 2017 film performances either, given how different yet impactful they are in their respective ways. Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy nominees: Judi Dench, Victoria and Abdul, Helen Mirren, The Leisure Seeker, Margot Robbie, I, Tanya, Saoirse Ronan, Lady Bird, Emma Stone. Battle of the Sexes. Predicted winner, Saoirse Ronan. Lady Bird's charm and reliability owes more than a passing debt to its star Saoirse Ronan, who brings the film's impetuous and temperamental, in a typical teenage sense, namesake to life with yet another great performance. Ronan has been nominated for a Golden Globe twice already, for Atonement and Brooklyn, but third time could prove to be the charm for her at this year's ceremony. Should win, Saoirse Ronan. Ronan's larger body of work is already as varied as it impressive, ranging from a young assassin, Hannah, to everyday teenager caught in the afterlife, The Lovely Bones. Between her latest tour de force work in Lady Bird and her greater resume, this would be as fitting a year as any for Ronan to win, especially since, unlike most of her peers, the HFPA has yet to recognize her with a Golden Globe. Potential upset. Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie has quickly emerged as a dramatic heavyweight over the past few years, thanks to her own varied performances in films ranging from The Wolf of Wall Street to Suicide Squad. Robbie brings real humanity and wit to the role of Tanya Harding in Craig Gillespie's Martin Scorsese-styled biopic I, Tanya, and it's certainly possible that the HFPA will recognize her for it. Should have been a contender, Aubrey Plaza. Ingrid Goes West. Matt Spicer's dark comedy Ingrid Goes West is considered by some to be one of 2017's more underrated indie films, with a terrifically committed and troubled performance by Aubrey Plaza leading the way. 2017 was a great year for Plaza in general. Between Ingrid Goes West and her roles in films like The Little Hours and the TV show Legion, she deserved to be recognized with at least a nomination here. Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy nominees: Steve Carell, Battle of the Sexes, Ansel Elgort, Baby Driver, James Franco, The Disaster Artist, Hugh Jackman, The Greatest Showman, Daniel Kaluuya, Get Out predicted winner, James Franco. James Franco could have easily channeled Tommy Wiseau for cheap laughs in The Disaster Artist and called it a day. Instead, the actor/filmmaker made the enigmatic Wiseau feel like a real person driven by their grand ambitions, yet riddled with insecurities and flaws of character. It's a performance that goes beyond impression to offer something much more substantial. Instead, should win. Daniel Kaluuya. This is another case where, as terrific as the more likely winner is, the subtler performance is also deserving of recognition. Daniel Kaluuya expresses so much emotion with his eyes and facial expressions in Get Out that most of the film's poster marketing focuses on his face alone. As important as the craftsmanship is to Get Out, Kaluuya gives the film its beating heart and soul. Potential upset: Hugh Jackman. The Greatest Showman might be the odd man out at the Golden Globes this year, but even the film's detractors seem to agree. Jackman's performance is so lively and infectious, the musical movie almost works in spite of everything else. If the HFPA isn't willing to even nominate Jackman for Logan, maybe they will make up for the snub by giving him the top prize here instead. Should have been a contender: Kumail Nanjiani, The Big Sick. In addition to co-writing the big screen version of his own real-life romance, Kumail Nanjiani grounds The Big Sick with his own multifaceted performance in the film. Kumail's turn here is another one of those that falls on the subtle side, as he quietly makes for just about the perfect modern version of the classic male lead in a Hollywood rom-com. Maybe he will be nominated for The Big Sick too. Love Never Gets Sick? -12